Hey everybody, it's Mark from Circle of the Dark Mother. Today we're going to do another reading from the myth that I put together in my book Embracing Lilith. This is part 18. So if you want to get the whole story, you have to start at part 1. There will be several more parts. It's quite long. It's sort of novella size. Remember, this is a myth. So there are things that may be fantastical. It's not meant to have happened exactly as it's described. It's meant to be mythology. And what I did is I took all the different myths of Lilith through various cultures and some myths that weren't exactly her, put them together and made a cohesive story. Chapter 17. Suddenly he heard a voice saying, "O faithless man born, all is now at the end between us. Didn't I tell you not to divulge my secret? Now you will neither see me again nor your sons." Faiz and the Peri wife. While wandering across the world, I found myself in the land of Persia. I felt a call of pain and need that drew me to a scene that actually stirred my blackened heart. I saw a woman and her twin toddlers being attacked by wild dogs. She fought bravely to protect her children, but she was still losing badly. I could tell the wound she already had would prove fatal, but she simply refused to give up trying to save her sons. I landed in spiritual form next to the woman. Even though I remained invisible, the dogs felt my presence and took off in terror. I took human form and stood over the dying woman. Her eyes were glazed and blood poured out of the many bites all over her body. A nasty bite to her neck had caused the worst damage. I knew she only had minutes to live. She grasped my arm and said, "My babies, save my babies." As I replied that I would, she breathed her last and died. I couldn't bear to leave the children alone, so I took the form of the dead woman and checked they weren't harmed too severely. I made sure to look disheveled and bruised, with bites and a large bump on my head. I didn't trust anyone after all that had happened in Egypt, and as much as I wanted to help these children, I did not wish to reveal myself to anyone. Luckily, the children were so young that they didn't understand that their mother had died, and I had taken her place. I looked like their mother, so I was their mother to them. As soon as we entered the nearby village where I assumed the woman had come from, several people met us, asking if I could walk and ready to help me return to my husband's tent. Older women scooped up the children and led us to our home. There I met a man, apparently named Faiz, who was the woman's husband. I did not find him unattractive, and he seemed generally concerned for his wife and children. I feigned being badly hurt so I could take rest and observe whether the children were truly safe with this man in this community. During my fake convalescence, I managed to observe the people and Fayez in particular. The village was full of good people, and Fayez seemed like a decent enough man. I played the part of wife and mother to fulfill my promise to the dying woman to keep her children safe. It was as close to a life as I had had in a long time, but I could not put my heart into it. Assuming the dead woman's role felt more like a duty than a pleasure. My mating with Fayez produced Lilin, whom I dispatched into the world while I resumed the part I played. From time to time, I left the village to commune with my daughters. Sometimes I took my true form and flew, just for the thrill of being free. One night, Fayez followed me, and I caught him watching me just as I was changing shape back into his wife. He called me Peri, which is a Persian word for fairy. I looked him directly in the eyes and, as sternly as I could, told him that he must never disclose to anyone what he thought I was, or I would take his children and leave forever. He quickly agreed and vowed never to tell a soul. For a time, things remained as normal, but then people in the village started showing up at our house with gifts. It started small with a little food here or there and grew into gifts of items that one must be wealthy to purchase. Fayez stopped working and began to depend on the offerings coming to our home. I asked him what was going on several times, and he came up with excuses about favors he had done for the villagers and other nonsense. When he stopped paying attention to his children and basked in believing himself special and deserving of lavish care, I had had enough. One day, while Fayez was off doing whatever it was he did, I cornered a young woman who brought an offering. I asked her why people gave us so many gifts. She was reluctant to share and wouldn't even look me in the eyes. She treated me as if I rose high above her in station, her manner tinged with awe and fear. I finally pushed the issue. We bring you gifts so we can keep your favor, mistress. Somewhat confused, I asked, why do you need my favor? Because you are a Peri and bring us luck or destruction. We want you to be happy here in our village. Who told you I'm a Peri and that I would want to leave? Your husband Fayez told the elders of the village, and he took them into the wilderness to show them the proof by watching you transform from your Peri form back to human. Did he now? That night I confronted Fayez. At first I acted all sweet and loving, but as I revealed that I knew he had disclosed my secret and then profited from it, I allowed my form to change. My eyes turned pitch black, my skin lightened, and my features became my own instead of those of his wife. Agas, he shrieked, believing me the demoness named Agas, who ruled over illness, whose name meant evil eye. Yes, Fayez, I'm not a simple Peri, but a demon. I warned you to never reveal what I am. And not only did you reveal my nature, but you also sought to profit from it. Please, please don't hurt me, he begged. I'm not going to hurt you, but all is now at an end between us. Didn't I tell you not to divulge my secret? Now you will neither see me again nor your sons. I grabbed the children, unfurled my wings, and took to the sky. I found the boys a new home in a neighboring village where a couple had been barren and longed for children. When I brought the boys to them, they burst into tears of joy. I knew the twins would be safe and be able to grow to manhood in a happy home.